my 5th year, or our 5th year wedding anniversary this week. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing because God has been faithful. It's been 5 years of learning, 5 years of growth, 5 years of forgiveness, 5 years of so many things I can't even start. I'll lose count. I know some people are 10 years, 15 years, 50 years, and so on in marriage. But then I believe, as a believer, that it takes the grace of God to stay in a marriage. You see, the whole wedding, ashrebi, and the whole paparazzi that happens on the day of the wedding, or maybe a week after, a month after, is all by the way, babe. The reality hits you when you are well into the wedding, or the marriage, when you are well into the marriage itself. The wedding is what happens on the day, and people carry their bag and go to their homes and mind their own businesses. And one thing that I've learned about marriage is that there is no manual to read apart from the Holy Bible or Holy Quran or whatever you believe in, that guides you. As a Christian, I would say the Holy Bible. So that guides you. There is no manual. Every marriage is different. Reason is not far-fetched. Every human is different. So the way your mom and your dad ran their own marriage was based on their kind of persons, or their personality, or their background, primary socializing agents, or secondary socialization agents, whatever we call the English, and their exposure, and several other factors, that determined where they are today, if they are still together. So, but because no two persons is the same, just makes marriage unique. Because number one, your husband is different from you. You are different from your husband, and you cannot compare your own marriage solely or fully to someone else's marriage, no matter how relatable. So you just have to create your own fun, create your own idea of an ideal marriage. Because forget what people say, forget what you see on Instagram, forget it. They're all make-believes. Some people, what happens behind closed doors, they will not come and tell you, but that public display of affection, they know how to do very well. So if you base your marriage based on my friend Kiniko, my friend's husband does this when we are at a gathering, forget it. Or my friend posts that her husband did this or did that one. Mind your own business and face front. So running quickly to the 5 things that marriage has taught me in 5 years. Number one thing is that every marriage is unique. Every marriage is unique, like I said earlier, or I must have said already. Do not compare. I have not compared my marriage with anybody's marriage, and it has helped me thus far. Sometimes I try to drift away, but I have a way of calling myself back to remind myself that even if I had a twin sister, a marriage cannot be like my own. So I don't know what your status is now, married, single, searching, not searching, watching this video right now. Just when you go into after your wedding night, and then everybody minds their own business, goes to their home, even your parents would go to their own homes, just put at the back of your mind that you are in here to make it work. Making it work doesn't mean you die there. I'm not a fan of you die there. We've heard stories upon stories of how people, had problems, but they never spoke up, never devised methods, never, they just stayed there based on what they read in Ephesians 5, which I believe solely in. But when you start reading, all the wives submit to your husband, or the husband love your wife as, Christ loves the church, you would also agree with me that before preceding, those verses, is a line that says that you have to submit to one another. How come nobody talks about that part of submitting to one another, and then you have to submit to your husband, you have to submit to your husband, and then nobody even remembers, or well, some people, not everybody, some people do not even remember to read the next verse, which says that your husband needs to love your wife the way Christ loves the church. Christ loves the church with no blemish, with no unendingly. So that means that no matter what your wife does, you love her unendingly. And if that's the case, you'd fight to make up and all of that. So that's the number one thing marriage has taught me. Number two thing marriage has taught me quickly is that do not set unrealistic goals for your marriage. Now, if you've always in your head, your idea of ideal is my husband will do the dishes, my husband will do this, my husband will bring breakfast in bed to me, it can mar the relationship or mar the marriage. So, and by so doing, you keep having problems because you have chosen not to adjust to the reality of this, your husband, of who he is, you know. And of course, before you got to the part of getting married, we all know that a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. So before you got to the point of, you know, getting married eventually, you'd have seen some of these things, you know. Forget all these, I'm in love, I love him, to return and all of that I say. You must have seen some of the traces. If you chose to, you know, put blind eyes, or what English, how do we put that English, to turn blind eyes because you're in love. I mean, marriage is what will open your eyes, and then reality will hit you hard. And if you're someone who is not very good with adjusting, you then have even more problems. So adjust your mind. I mean, I believe we should set standards. Yes, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything and all of that. But then if there are little or petty things, so to say, quote and unquote, that needs or can do with adjusting, please adjust. Forget what you see on social media. Forget what your friend posts, though. So I'll bring my voice down now as I go into number 3. Number 3 thing that marriage has taught me in the last 5 years is that men cherish. And when I say cherish, in all caps, I'm trying to bring my voice down because some people don't like watching videos with the person shouting and all of that, so I try to be considerate of people like that. Also, people will be enjoying my gingered voice. So anyway, men do not like it when we don't respect them. No matter what, if he's slim, if he's tall, if he's short, if he's chubby, whatever it looks like or whatever it represents, you saw him before you married him. You have to respect him. He has a job that is good, quote and unquote, or he's still struggling to find his feet. You have to respect him. This part, you know, I had problems with because I just thought my definition of respect isn't or wasn't the proper definition of respect. So for the first year, I'd say the first year leading to 18 months following our marriage, we had problems, or I'd say I had problems because I wasn't coming to that reality of no matter what I have, no matter what I know, do you understand, is the head of the family, I am the helpmate, and all of those, you know, I'd like to call them compromise that we make here and there, you know, just to make things go smooth sailing. So you have to, no matter what, forget what they tell you outside, believe me or not. I mean, I know I'm only 5 years in, but a man loves it when you respect them. And respect could mean you have the money to buy something, but he tells you he doesn't want us to own that thing just yet. You have to obey him even though you have the money to buy it. So it's different if you didn't have the money to buy it and you're asking him for money and he says he doesn't want to give you. You'll be wishing, oh, I'd had the money, I'd have bought it myself anyway. And any other thing or everything you can think of regarding respect, about it, within it, every line that speaks respect. Little things like, babe, I don't want us to sleep upstairs today. Do you understand? Can we stop downstairs and sleep whilst watching the movie? I mean, that's his opinion for that night, but you would love a mattress to sleep on. Do you understand? So, but I think it's all about respecting and then making compromise. And when you've made compromise here and there, like I started with that Bible verse, Ephesians 5, from 12 downwards, if I'm right, or 11 downwards. You know, if the husband also loves you, if he sees that you've made compromises a number of times, I mean, courtesy demands that he also, because he loves you, you know, decide to do your own thing, and then that way you both can find a balance. I hear people say, oh, it's an African man thing, it's an African mentality, Kiniko, and you all talk about feminism, we have equal rights. Believe me, many of these people that shout feminism up and down, many of them, I mean, not all, many of them are in a marriage, they are loving their marriage, and they'll come to the social media and start shouting feminism words, and then you'll be like, yeah, I go with her, I stand with her. Forget it. They are cherishing their marriage. You don't know what happens behind the closed curtains in their houses. You don't know whether they are licking their husband's feet or not, and then they are coming out to shout feminism in your own face. Forget social media. Oh, now make believe. So then those that tell you, then another category of people are those that are from marriages that they've tried but then it did not work, and their own idea of the reason it did not work was because the man should have given them equal opportunity, or had they, you know, sort of it properly, they would have, you know, called for equal opportunity, and in their next marriage they would, you know, clamor for equal opportunity, and all these had I known that they would then bring to your face or faces, and then you then realize that, I mean, it's not me being funny or bitter or whatever, but then you realize that oftentimes you don't get another man, because a man that sees that you are this way, even like an Oyibo man, you know, loves respect as well. He would respect you too, but then he would love a degree of respect. It's just that their own definition of respect differs from our own. It doesn't mean that they also do not cherish it when you show that you respect them. And when I say respect, I don't mean lick his feet. I don't mean, you know, take some bull crap. Do you understand? Don't get me wrong. Do you understand? But at least make compromise to show that you cherish him as your head, or the head of the family, or the head of the house. Do you understand? And all of those things. I mean, like I said at the beginning, if the Bible is your manual, you do very well in marriage, because everything you need for answers are in the Bible. So that's about respect. Number 4 thing marriage has taught me is that, actually for those of us abroad, is that no matter what you earn, no matter whether you earn £5 per month and he earns £50 per month, this is just an example, it is our thing. It is our thing. There are some men that they've not been brought up to appreciate the word our. They are used to my, and then they may come across as a selfish man. They may come across as though they don't want to share, as though they don't want to build with you and all of that. But then you have to teach him. Do you understand? You have to teach him. You have to teach him that it is our thing. If somebody wants to call for £10 out of the £55 we earn per month from home or from anywhere, courtesy demand that you teach your man to know that you have to be happy with that £10 going out. Even though all your money in the old £55 is £5. Do you understand? You have to make him understand that I am now part of you. This is now a nuclear family. I appreciate there are extended families, but then can we pay attention to these and all of that? And then can we prioritize? And then you will help him, you will hold his hands. I mean, there are some things that men will not tell you, no matter what you do. There are some things that men will never tell you. Maybe at the beginning, they may tell you later on, but they may not tell you at the start of it. Do you understand? But then if you make yourself open and relaxed, they will still come and tell you, babe, I did so thing and so thing. But then if we pray for a godly family and a godly man and a godly home, such man would know that, okay, he should have told you at the start, but then because he needed to do it and he knew it may call for so much deliberation, discussing with you, may then decide that he's using his manly wisdom not to tell you at first, but then will tell you later. So that is why it is just good to prayerfully go into a marriage, any marriage, because if a man fears God and he loves God, he would love you too, and then he would know that whatever doesn't make him happy will not make him happy. And I often tell my husband, a happy wife is a happy life. And he knows it because he sees the quote everywhere. Whenever he sees the quote, he tap me to look at it. Yes, a happy wife is a happy life. It is not a cliche, it's the truth. So for that reason, they will do everything. My madam no go here. If my madam here, you understand? So they know that it will be held in that house that day. So for that reason, you know, you have to teach your man. I know some men are not teachable. Even we women sometimes are not teachable. But check that circumstance per time. I've learned to check that circumstance per time that is making him adamant at that point in time. Then I relax and then go again, you know, to check. The last but not the least, that's the 15 marriage has taught me so far. I mean, marriage has taught me 50,001 things. Because it's 50th anniversary, I'll talk about 5 things only. Is that every man is a baby. I don't want to call them dog, because when you call them dogs, when I mean dog, what I'm trying to say is that they are like pets. So, but I don't want to use that word so I don't sound offensive or disrespectful. So I'll say every man is a baby. This is what I mean. When you marry a man, he's had all these things that he's grown up with for so many years. Whether he's learned it from his father, he learned it from his friends, he came about it himself, or whatever ways, you know, come about knowing these things. You then want to undo some of the learnings just so you can relearn some things that sound ideal to you, just so the marriage can work well. I mean, it's a bit of unlearning to learn to relearn and all of that. By so doing, in this point has also taught me patience. So as we start from point 1, 1 to 3 up until this 5, you'd see that apart from what marriage has taught me, I've also probably mentioned variably or invariably about what it has helped me rather. So apart from the teaching, some things I also had to come up with as compensatory or coping mechanism as a way to make it work. So in this case, as a man being a baby, I'm also I've also learned to be able to teach him the things that I want, the things that I think he should unlearn, so that we can have a good time together. Sometimes when you think men are thinking, they are probably not thinking that thing. And do I need somebody to tell you? Do you need somebody to tell? And then you're wondering, how do you men even think fair? So marriage has taught me that men do not think the way we think. They're like babies sometimes. You have to show them, babe, let's call this person, let's leave this one for now. They may not agree, especially, and when I'm talking about men in this instance, I'm talking about a man that fears God, I keep saying it, and a man that loves you. So he may not agree at that point in time. But then if you try again, do not be somebody that will be like, we have to do it now, blah, blah, and then you are poking him. Remember that ego that every man has, even if he's as short as this. An average man is egoistic. So do not go bullying him because you earn more than him, or you are taller than him, or whatever it is that is giving you that much confidence. Calm down sometimes, use wisdom, then go back again. I think we should call that person, but I think we should hold off doing that thing. It would just be did not hear sometimes, but later you see that he did what you asked him to do. Do you understand? Because he sees that each time you bring your words out, they are words of wisdom, and that's why it's good for you also. Just like Proverbs chapter 30 makes us to understand, as virtuous women, when we speak wisdom, when we speak correct things and we direct them in correct ways, please share, and we will catch again later. Subscribe, share my videos, like this video. It's good for my YouTube algorithm. Till we see again, take care of yourself, guys. What has marriage taught you? Are you married? What has marriage taught you? Please share with me too. I'm only a baby in marriage, or share with me, put in the comment section. Let me learn, let people learn from you. And also, are you still single? I pray God gives you bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh, and I hope you get it in marriage. Thank you so much. Till we see again. Bye.